More on the markets now with Joshua Mahony in London. He's a senior market analyst at IG Group. Good to have you back with us, Joshua. Well, Donald Trump never ceases to amaze the markets. Tell us more about how they've reacted to his announcement of tariffs on Mexican goods.
Yeah, I mean, understandably, we're seeing widespread selling. This really is a continuation of much of what we've seen over the past week. I think from a market perspective, look, there's enough to worry about in terms of the US-China issue. They seem to be going in the wrong direction. Now, all of a sudden, we're seeing a move that, for me, is a bit of a break from the norm. We're quite used to the fact that Donald Trump has said in the past that the US has unsatisfactory trade terms with the likes of Mexico, the likes of Canada, the likes of the EU, the likes of China. Now we're seeing him use tariffs in a very different way. Essentially, it looks like it's the go-to for him if he ever feels like the US is being slighted in one way or another. On this occasion, he's saying it's down to illegal immigrants coming across the border. And one of the issues that we've got here is the fact that this is not necessarily particularly objective. It's going to be a subjective thing as to whether Mexico is or isn't doing enough. So there's not necessarily something that they can just do, and it's definitely going to fix this issue. We're talking about 5% tariffs at the moment. That's going to be implemented on the 10th of June, but that could be ramped up to 25% by the time it comes around to October. So this could be pretty substantial indeed, considering the fact that the US has now a trade war with their biggest trading partner, that is China, and now their third biggest trading partner in Mexico.
Yes, and as we know, there's quite a significant presence of US companies in Mexico. Are there fears that their fortunes might be affected by this latest announcement?
Yeah, well, certainly. I think that really does highlight why markets are reacting the way that they are. And that's because, for the most part, everyday person on the street might say, oh, the price of avocados might go up for someone in the US. But in actual fact, a lot of multinationals throughout the US utilize Mexico primarily for their cheap labor. So a lot of the parts that are going to be coming over, a lot of these goods that are going to be taxed now are parts for sale within the US, but for multinational companies. That means potential for increased prices, or it means a potential for lower margins for some of those companies. And of course, that's going to have a knock-on effect when it comes to valuations in the equity markets.
OK, we'll see how the situation plays out. Joshua Mahony in London, thank you as always.